One and welcome back to another show of Red Cup Rants. I know I've been missing. I'm your girl LD with my BFF Dre, and then we got a new boom, aka Phil.
A
The
new boom.
philanthropist,
Wow.
the philanthropist. I saw how
Yeah,
you put that down there. The philanthropist.
I like
Yes.
that. I like it. So, what's been going on, gentlemen? What's been going on?
Hey man, I'm good, man. I had a good day today and yesterday, so I'm straight, man. I had got my feet done, got doing new things over here, and you know, 2021. You know what it is. If you don't know, you do know. So
Get your feet done in
BHHS.
2021.
Yep, BHHS all 2021.
I'm trying to tell you. I mean, everybody
If you
knows.
don't know what it is, you need to Google it. That's all I can tell you.
That's all I'm gonna tell you. Yeah.
I'm
You
not
know it.
saying anything else. Just Google.
Yep, just Google it. Google it or go to Twitter or Instagram. It's all on there. So it'll explain anything.
I need to be
Uh,
suing some folks. I really do. I
Yeah.
need to be suing some folks.
Right?
man, when I found the memes, that's all I needed to see because they got one for both, and I was like, "Oh, Fear gonna be mad at this."
I tell
You
you,
know how it goes. So I mean it's
you hear it one time and then somebody snatches it. I'm telling you, like,
just like Squall Team. Now I see everybody doing hashtag Squall Team. I might have to call my lawyer and see if I can get that copyrighted or something like that.
right.
Yeah. So, but
Wow.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. How you feeling down there, Phil? It's good to see you
I'm
back.
I,
It's been a minute,
I'm
man.
good.
It's
It's
been a
been
minute
a
since you've been here.
long time. It's been what, summer of last year where I
Hmm.
mean, whew, working as usual. That hasn't stopped. That grind hasn't stopped. So I mean, it's refreshing to be off early for once.
Right.
Probably never happen again, but I'm off
Hey,
early for
man.
once.
Hey, man. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with taking that time off, man. I know, you got all that time. So I know you be talking about me taking my time off, but you be in there. Every time I turn around, you taking the day off.
Oh yeah,
A day, one day, not
that's a lie.
45 in a row.
That's a lie because you took several off in December.
I took. Wait a minute. Hold on. That was given to me off, and I was forced to take. Not that I had need. Not that I wanted to take. I was forced to take the time off.
Okay,
Forced.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I hear you. I hear you, man. I hear you. But it's good
Forced.
that you take it. But I'm glad you're taking time off. So it's all good. It's all good over on this side. Good to see you taking time off though.
Yes.
It is.
So
It's refreshing.
That's
since
what's up.
we're gonna go get right on into this situation. Kyrie has some issues, like for real issues. If y'all don't know, I'm gonna do a real quick recap. Okay, so everybody knows what happened last Wednesday at the Capitol. Kyrie decided that night he was not that day or Thursday he was not going to play. Okay, when I got the update, they said that Steve Nash did not talk to him. Hasn't they don't know what the reason. Then by the end of the game, they said it was personal reasons. Okay, cool. Then then it went to he's not playing another game. So now people are dogging him, and I'm like, hold on, wait. We don't know what's going on. And then it comes out he just doesn't want to play. Okay, we can't say that to our supervisor, but hey, it is what it is. Now there is a video of him floating around with his family. Okay, I get it, but you're in a club scene and you're supposed to be depressed of what happened because of what happened at the riot. You don't want, the riot that happened at the Capitol. You don't want to play because of that. So now you're kicking it with your family, or so are you really depressed? And I say it in quotations because anybody that I know that's battling with depression or anything, they don't even want to deal with family. They don't even want to deal with hardly themselves. And now you're kicking it.
Hello.
Hmm.
So that's my issue. And I understand, and Corey, that is a big thing. We deal with depression differently, and that is true. But when you have a job that you have to be face to face, you have to do all this COVID testing, and you're in the club with no face mask. That one and everything you saw him in, there was not a face mask in sight. At least be smart about it. Out here raw dogging air and shit. Like you can't do that. This ain't 2019.
Yeah, man. It's yeah. I ain't really I can't really say anything. Well, I can say a whole lot, but the only thing I'm gonna say is what I've said all season long when Kyrie decided to go to Brooklyn and then KD came along. I said the Nets could be. I had them pick to go to the finals if KD. I'm not KD. If Kyrie will act right. If I say Kyrie's going to Kyrie, then it was going to be like it wasn't going to be. They're not going to make it because KD's a hell of a player by himself, but Kyrie can kind of he has a skill set that he could be a superstar or he could be just as good as if he wants to be. But I said that he has to be dedicated to the game. But the fact of the matter is that when he started missing games, I gave him the first game. That's cool. Personal reasons, that's fine. But you're supposed to be the leader, and I still don't think he's a leader in my eyes.
We'll get to that next.
When you're supposed to be the leader when you're supposed to be the leader or the star of the team, you're supposed to set an example. You're supposed to set an example for your teammates. And he set a very bad example. You're in the middle of a championship. Well, you're trying to bring a championship to Brooklyn. You got Kevin Durant, you got KD who's coming off, surgery. And he has a very he's been playing pretty good. So with that being said, if he I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's just to me, if it was me personally, I think he should retire. It just seems like his heart's not in it anymore. It just seems like he's going completely off the deep end. For whatever reason it is. And then on top of that, you're not even gonna give your coach a reason. I heard that the Nets have had minimal contact with him because whatever reason. I think he should retire. I think he should just quit. I think he should. I mean, he already got his money. Because NBA contracts are guaranteed. He should just quit. I would say trade him, but the way he's acting right now, no team's gonna want him. No team is gonna want him now. So I know if I'm the Nets owner, I'm really looking at this with a close eye. I'm trying to figure out how can I make this work, whether keeping him on the team or by trade. But if it was me, I'd be like, especially, and then on top of that, how does KD feel about all this? That's the other question. How does KD feel about it? Because if I'm KD, I'm feeling some kind of way because I'm sitting here busting my ass. You wanted me to come to Brooklyn to compete for a championship with you, and all of a sudden you out here partying, you out here taking for a personal reason, but you out here partying and not giving a fuck. So I'm like, if I'm KD, he hasn't thrown him under the bus yet. But it's turning into a Russell Westbrook situation he had with Russell Westbrook in OKC, where even though him and Westbrook had their differences, at least Westbrook came to play. He came to play ball. I don't see that in Brooklyn. I think Kyrie, he just don't want to play anymore. I think he's got his championship, and he's got his money. And I will say this, and this is a great point. This is a great point. As much as we scrutinize, talk about LeBron James, LeBron has been telling us this for years. Whether by subliminally or directly, he's been telling us how Kyrie's been for years. And nobody wanted to believe it because they were like, oh, it's LeBron. LeBron says this, whatever. But LeBron was right. LeBron was right about Kyrie the whole time, and now everybody seems surprised about it. But if you were really paying attention to what LeBron was saying, you would follow the trail. And I said you saw it in Boston. You saw how when he stopped playing for Boston, Boston actually got better. Tatum showed up, Jaylen Brown, those guys stepped up and they actually played. So if I'm the general manager of the Nets, I would really take a serious look at what can I do to rectify the situation, whether I dock his pay, which is I think is under the CBA that you can't, or I'll try to trade him, or I'll just suspend him for the season, or I'll suspend him or try to trade him. Or
one of those.
Something, because right now even though the consensus in the organizations that they're very upset right now. Steve Nash don't know what's going on. Steve Nash, I mean, Jesus, this is his first job. He got to deal with this. This is his first year. He's already dealing with shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel bad for Steve Nash because Steve Nash is probably one of the greatest point guards in the league, and you got a guy like Kyrie who you could train up to be a suitable point guard, and he don't even want to show up to. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. If it's me. I feel sorry for Steve Nash. I feel sorry for the fans of Brooklyn. I feel sorry for KD. I feel sorry for all them guys. And if it was me, if I was playing for the Nets, I'd really be like, I'd be giving Kyrie some serious side eyes. So that's all I got to say about that. So anybody else can go on that. That's good.
I agree. I think the first thing I thought about when I saw that, I was like, well, if you look at the Nets organization and the GM, I was like, at some point he's got to say, hey, did I just waste another season acquiring guys and then we don't win a championship or make the playoffs or go deeper into the playoffs? And of course, we're talking about when they acquired Garnett and Pierce. It didn't work out. And they put them in a hole. And now you got Kyrie and Kevin Durant. One is showing up and the other isn't.
Actually, one is still in COVID, ain't he?
Huh?
So KD was in COVID protocol for a minute.
Yeah, and then on top of that, when if Kyrie decides to come back, he has to do 10 to 14 days. He has to do a 2-week quarantine. He has to do 2 weeks. So it's messed up all around.
At this point, it's really Kyrie in his own way. At this point, he's the only person stopping him from being successful. I don't know of any injuries that he has. I don't know any other thing other than him being in his own head. And I said from the get-go, this team had the possibility of being the odds-out favorite in the East by far because of the talent and that 1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm.
And to see them not on the court at the same time at points, I'm just like, hey, well, how do the Nets fan base feel right now? Because I'm pretty sure they are invested in this as well. Not only them, the GMs, the head coach, Steve Nash, my first year, I got to deal with a basket case right now. I had a total head case in Kyrie right now. So I do feel sorry for the fans. I feel sorry for Steve Nash and especially KD, because if I knew this, I wouldn't have brought my ass to Brooklyn. I could have stayed in Golden State where it was I knew I was getting a championship. I knew I was going to have a chance to compete for a championship.
Especially with Klay Thompson being out for the season, that would have been perfect for Kevin Durant.
And with Klay Thompson being out, had he stayed, I still had them as the odds-on favorite to win the championship over LA. So at that point, you just you're just like, well, damn, did he make the right decision in leaving? That sucks. That sucks. You have the ability to be the best team in your conference, let alone probably one of the best. I say top five teams in the NBA with that 1-2 punch that you have. You have younger guys.
I have it coming out the East. I have it coming out the East playing the Lakers in the finals.
You have younger guys that can get it done on. And you saw that without those two, that those young guys stepped up and they can score the basketball. So you have a team where it complements both of you. And to not have you on the court, that's complete bullshit. That's messed up because I'm not understanding what the issue really is. You've got everything that you want on a silver platter. You got the player that you wanted to come there. You've got the money. You basically have the organization in the palm of your hand. If you're not satisfied with the coach, and that could be it, who knows? It's still not the way to go by it. Because at the end of the day, he's taking a chance on you like you're taking a chance on him. So we got to see how this works. And I thought Steve Nash coming in would be a very great compliment to Kyrie, a pure point guard, a guy who knows the role, a floor general when he played.
Mhm.
So I thought he would be able to pick Steve Nash's brain and learn from him. And then you have this. You don't want to play. I wish I had that ability to tell my people or my director,
Right.
hey,
Hey,
Right.
come in.
I don't want to save lives today. I don't want to save lives today. I don't want to save lives today. I don't want to answer phones. I don't want to get on the truck today. I don't want to go save nobody's life today.
If I try to
Please.
tell,
I'd be out of there in a heartbeat.
I try to tell Tariq I'm not your mom today, he just gonna look at me.
Right.
I never
No.
understood it.
Yeah.
He's just in his own head. It's just him. He's in his own head, and I wish.
I say it time and time again, Kyrie go Kyrie, and he definitely Kyrie. So
And you know what? I didn't
I hope
realize
he
he
ain't
had
on that
that many
smack.
supporters.
Yeah.
I did not realize he had that many supporters. I'm just gonna throw it
Hope he
out
ain't on
there
that
because there's
smack.
been some
Seriously.
caping. There's been a lot of caping for this man the
Oh, yeah.
last few days. And it's like one dude got into Brian. Brian, if you're watching, oh my God. But if one dude got into with Brian, but he started writing with Brian in all caps. And I just thought that was the most hilarious thing. And he was like, he wasn't in Toronto. He was with family. Okay, it don't matter if he was in
You have a
Chicago.
job.
I don't
You have a
care.
job.
Correct.
You have a-
Correct.
It'd be different if he was at home.
You have obligations. I don't give a damn where you are.
Yeah, you have a job to do.
If you were at home and you were really upset about what was going on, because I know it affected us all some type of way, why at that time you should have been like, okay, you know what? I know, understand, but I'm gonna come in, come out. Tell people to not take pictures of your ass when you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Rule number one.
Right.
I'm not taking any photos. I don't care if you're family or not. You saw me. And if you do take photos, do not put it on social media.
The thing that you said you're going to stay away from, the media, period.
Yeah.
I took that as social media, all types of media. Like I thought you were staying away from that, and you seem to be in it quite a bit. So you failed in that aspect. I don't know. He's too talented to be like this. I swear it.
And I want to ask everybody that's listening, and then please tell me, is Kyrie a leader in your eyes?
No. Nah.
Hell no.
And LeBron, and like I said earlier, LeBron James has been screaming this. LeBron's been screaming this ever since him and Kyrie linked up in Cleveland. Even with subtle jabs and direct dialogue, either directly or indirectly. LeBron's been saying this for years about Kyrie, and we didn't want to believe it because it was LeBron saying this, and everybody, even though LeBron has a reputation, sometimes LeBron can be right about some stuff, and he was right about Kyrie. The writing was on the wall. You saw what happened when he got traded to Boston, and he went to Boston, and it didn't work out quite there, and then he got injured, and then all of a sudden the team was better without him.
Mhm.
And so, it created a toxic environment in Boston. And then Boston was like, you know what? We're not even going to give you a contract. We're just going to let you do your thing and decide where you want to go. So, you're not, even though Kyrie's not a leader, you can't deny his skills. And some team was going to pick him up. And lo and behold, Brooklyn, picked him up. And then, they went and got KD and brought KD in. And on paper, they were the favorites to come out the East if they were to stay together. But now you see it. Now you see it unfolding right before your eyes. It's a very toxic environment there. Like I said, I feel sorry for KD. I feel sorry for Steve Nash. But Yeah, Kyrie's not a leader because he's setting a real bad example right now. Especially like how as a younger, especially like if you're a younger player playing for the Nets and you're looking at guys like KD and Kyrie who's supposed to be the veterans of this team, how would you feel? How would you feel? Like, those you got feel for those guys. So I mean, Kyrie's pretty much a Robin. I mean, KD, he has leadership qualities, but sometimes he likes to relegate a little bit. But there's been times where KD has actually taken over and say, "Hey, this is my team. I'm gonna do what it do." I've never seen Kyrie do that. I've never seen, go ahead, Phil.
You call him a Robin, and that's a pretty damn good Robin to have. So,
yeah, it is.
At 28 years of age, maturity had to set in at some point in time, and he's not mature. He is not mature, and I don't know if it's coming out and being in the NBA so early at an early age. Did he have time to really get himself together and have his head on straight to know what he was going to do? Because everything that I've seen great years as a rookie. I've seen great years on through, even when you won the championship and you were hurt. I saw great years. I saw the future of an organization. And now that you have this chance to be that future of the organization, to be the guy to step up and lead an organization, you fail. You don't even show any leadership skills and or qualities at all. So at what point is, like you say, what point do people view him as, just like you said, a Robin, a good second player, a go-to player, or a good first, second option, but not a leader? At some point, I've never known the first option not to be a leader of a team. That's the person you look to bring you through these tough times and hard times, and he can't do that. So at this point, I'm like, hey, he's got to get his head on straight. Something's got to be up top. Some screws missing, clearly. Something that we're not knowing. But it is not cool to leave your teammates. That's one thing about a team sport. You can't leave your teammates hanging like that. What example do you set? And the younger guys. But the better question is this: is he going to be reprimanded for it? Because we all know stars get slaps on the wrist a lot of times. What is going to happen with Kyrie Irving? That's the real question that I need to know. I want to know what happens. What kind of disciplinary action is going to take place?
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. But what I've been reading it today, the Nets organization is not happy about it. So we'll see when he does decide to come back. If he ever decides to come back, we'll see from there. But like I said, he should. If his heart's not in it, just take your money and go. Let somebody else. LeVert's been playing a little. Let LeVert take your spot. Let him play. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with that. It's nothing wrong with saying that you don't have the passion for it anymore. I can completely understand that. Not everybody keeps the same passion as time goes on. That's just life. But I'd rather you flat out tell me this. Or if you don't want to be with the team, tell me so I can trade your ass and get some quality players in return before it's too late. Because it's still early in the season.
Houston was looking to trade. Houston was looking to trade Harden. At least when Harden goes out. At least Harden goes out. He comes back. He'll drop a 40 piece. You know what I'm saying? He'll go out, but he'll come back. So I mean,
everybody you can say what you want about Harden. Harden's more of a leader than Kyrie will ever be. So at this point,
that's the sad part. That's the sad part right there. It really is because Harden has his problems, but he does come and play every night. He does play every night, and not only does he play every night, he's very effective. So if I'm Brooklyn, I'm like, hey, Houston, I get Houston on the phone, be like, hey, you want to still stand Harden off? We'll get you Kyrie. But like I said before, with this whole episode that Kyrie did, now teams are going to hold pause if you do decide to trade him.
So I mean, he wouldn't like me as a GM. I'd be like, hey, Chief, I need you to come in right quick. We got to have a discussion.
Pretty much.
I'm telling you, at the top of my desk will be all your shit from your locker. We trading the player. Hey, player, I find you another destination. We just need you to go and get on through. I'm telling you, and I'm petty. I'm sending you somewhere where you got to totally rebuild. I'm petty like that. And I'm not sending you nowhere. I'm not sending you nowhere where you can win a championship off bat after you did cause me all this issues. You going to the bottom of the bottom, player. Bottom of the bottom.
Send his ass to Memphis.
Right?
What? Because you got the ability. You got the chance to team up with Morant.
Morant,
we ain't doing that.
We're
not even doing that.
Oh, you know what?
We have a question. In what way do you feel Harden is a leader, given that he has pulled this past off season?
Because James Harden comes up to play every night. He comes to play. If he's not under protocol, he comes to play. He comes to play. Yes, he has his issues.
He's had problems in the past. I never said that he didn't have his own issues. But the man comes to play. He comes to play every night, and not only does he come to play, he balls. I mean, everybody talks about how big he is. Everybody talks about he gained weight. That man went out and dropped a 40-point triple-double. So I mean, that's why I said, I was like, look, if you got issues outside the court, that's cool. We can handle it. But as long as you come in and do your job, hey, it's water under the bridge. Kyrie's not doing that. Kyrie is out and staying out. He's staying out. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
we're not saying Harden is a leader. We're just comparing him.
We're just comparing him to Kyrie.
Correct.
Kyrie. He's more of a leader than Kyrie. I'm not saying
he'll ever be.
Yeah, he's more of a leader than Kyrie.
He's a basket case himself, but I mean, at this point, he is still playing. It's not like he's like, oh, I'm not gonna play, and then you're going out and you party, and you like, come on. Yeah. You have obligations. You signed. I don't give a damn who you are. You signed up for this when you took your ass and said, I declare for the draft. You signed up for this. So at this point, this is on you. It's not on us. It's not on the media. It's not on the fans. It's not on us. It's not on the GMs. It's on you. You signed up for this. You knew what you were getting yourself into. You wanted to be an NBA player. So with that comes responsibilities, obligations that they expect you to fulfill. If I'm paying you all this money and you're not fulfilling your obligations, you got a problem, player. So, I mean, I'm telling you, how I roll is like this. Either you perform your obligations or you take an ass cutting. Like that. This is what it is. Oh, so had this been the street, this ain't no talking with me and Kyrie. This is the streets. But this is a professional organization where I'm expecting you to perform with me giving you money.
Oh, that's straight skibbity pass in the streets.
Yeah. Another question. So lesser of the two evils. If you have to pick the better leader between the two, we're picking Harden.
I'm picking Harden.
I'm giving Harden all day.
Yeah, I'm picking Harden. At least Harden will show up and play. That says
even if he did went out and party.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if he did went out and party. I know he gonna come in drunk, but he gonna give me that drunk triple double. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he will give me a drunk triple double.
Right.
He's a modern day Rodman. I'll take it. Just let him be.
That's what I'm saying. Like he comes in. The fact that you show up as a leader. I know it's more on the court, off the court, but on the court, especially if you got younger players on your team, you're supposed to be the star. They're looking to you. So if you're not there and they're not looking to you, who they got to look to? So yes, I would take Harden over Kyrie for the simple fact that he shows up to does his job, what he gets paid to do. So if Harden's out there dropping, as Phil say, drunk triple doubles, I don't give a fuck if he go party, as long as he come and balls out. Yeah.
Now, granted, for me, that's a problem still that you're going out partying and know that you have obligations. But at the end of the day, if you're fulfilling your obligation and I'm paying you and you're going out there to compete, then yes, I am going to have something to say because you're jeopardizing your future, the team's future, but you're out there playing. You're not out there partying. Then you're saying you're depressed and you party. I'm telling you right now, for those who know me best, when I'm depressed, don't call me, don't bother me. I ain't trying to hear it. Right. I'm really not trying to hear it. Yeah. So at this point, you're not going to catch me out there partying. I mean, it's maturity. Maturity has got to set in to be responsible. Have some type of respect for the game, your teammates in the organization who are depending on you, who gave you all this money, who have basically given you what you want and another star right beside you. At this point, I would trade your ass for Harden in a heartbeat, because at least I know that when KD is on the court and Durant is on that court, Harden is on that court and KD is on that court, I got a damn good chance of winning instead of worrying about somebody who doesn't want to play, who claims they're depressed, and who wants to party. You kiss my whole ass for that, because that is a sucker move right there. I can't respect that. I cannot respect that.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on because we're still gonna talk about the NBA real quick. Because I had this quick question before we move on to other things. Do you gentlemen think there will be a pause on the NBA season because of COVID cases?
Oh yeah, it's gonna
affirmative. I don't even think they should have. I don't think they should have removed from the bubble. I think the bubble should have still been in play. I really don't think they should have went back to their stadiums. I think the bubble should have been in effect, because at least with the bubble, you mitigated a lot of those problems. See, now you got some people in arenas, you got the staff that's there, you got everybody. We don't know what they've been. We don't know who they come in contact with. At least with the bubble, it was a restriction. So now we're back at square one. Now we're saying a 7-day, 14 pause. I mean, at this point, either you put them back in the bubble or just don't do the season at all.
Right.
I just think just put them back in the bubble. If you're that concerned about COVID cases, put them back in the bubble.
I agree. That's
we have games getting, canceled, postponed, whatever the word you want to use.
Either it's canceled or postponed, or you got teams that's playing with 7 players or 6 players. Yeah.
Right.
So I agree. I don't really have anything to say about that. I pretty much agree with Phil. Either they put them back in the bubble or they suspend the season like last year and figure it out, because it's gonna become a real messy situation if they don't get a handle on it. So yeah, I agree with Phil on that one. I don't really have a lot to say about that. That's pretty much how I feel with that whole situation.
Well, since that's the case,
oh my God,
we're gonna talk about it real quick. Another reason I want to talk about it. It's nothing. It's not even talk about the game itself. We're gonna talk about how Bama. I brought it to your guys' attention, and we said something about it earlier, before the show, that a lot of people feel Ohio State shouldn't have been in the championship game to begin with.
They shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been in, because the fact that the Big Ten had to bend over backwards, because I think you had to win at least 6 games to qualify for your conference championship. And the fact that the Big Ten had to bend over backwards to even make Ohio State eligible to play in their conference championship, that just lets me know. And I don't know if Sean is watching, and I kind of agree with what Sean says. The NCAA football as an entity as a whole is probably the second most corrupt entity in all of sports. Boxing is number 1. Boxing is totally dirty, followed by NCAA football. It's very corrupt. They have no problem playing favoritism for certain teams, especially when money's involved. Ohio State, they bring in the ratings, they bring in the money. They're a prestigious college or whatever. So I felt they didn't deserve to get in the championship or even get in the CFP. But when you got money, and when you have when you're in a conference, the Power 5 conference, you're gonna have some leeway. And it sucks because you got teams like Texas A&M and Cincinnati, who I thought one of those two should have been in, based on the fact that A&M, their only loss was to Alabama, and Cincinnati, who was undefeated. Both of those teams should at least have some consideration over Ohio State. I would have put one of them in over Ohio State. But like I said, the NCAA loves to play favorites. The big, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, those teams, they carry weight as far as prestige and tradition. So I don't feel, even though they beat Clemson, I didn't think they had a puncher's chance of beating Alabama. I think I agree with what Phil said. I think the only team that had a puncher's chance of even staying in the game with Alabama was Clemson. That was it. Notre Dame, you saw what Alabama did to Notre Dame. And that's another team who should have been out of the CFP, because it seems like every time Notre Dame goes to the college football playoff, they get smoked. They get beat. and it's not, and it's sad because Notre Dame, and that's another team like Ohio State. Notre Dame has the money and prestige to they get pushed in there, and then all of a sudden they go in there and then they get their pants dropped. So I know there's been a lot of talk about expanding the playoff. I think that should happen. I was against it at first, but I think now, considering the fact you got teams that deserve to be in the playoff, they're not playing. I really think they should expand it. I think they should do at least 8 teams, 10 teams, and get the first 2 teams a bye. The number 1 and number 2 team in the country a bye, and let the other 8 just duke it out. But yeah, I don't think Ohio State should have been in the CFP. And I know I got a lot of Ohio State buddies on my timeline that are listening. They probably they think I'm hating. But when you have to bend over backwards just to get your team in your conference championship, that says a lot. And then it's not fair. And then it's not fair to the teams that actually played 9, 10, 11, 12 games. Then on top of that, they had to play a conference championship. It's not fair to them. So
agreed.
So I'm kind of glad. Ohio State, good team. That was a good team. It's just the fact that I felt that they kind of had a cheat code to get into the CFP, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So, but it didn't matter no way because the way Alabama played football this year, I don't think nobody was beating them anyway.
Nope.
The only team that led Alabama at halftime was my dogs. My Bulldogs led them at half. But as far as everybody else they played, they pretty much beat them down. They pretty much beat them down.
We had to play them game 1.
Yeah. So I applaud my Bulldogs for giving them their true fight, and then eventually, they pulled away in the second half. But yeah, Alabama, they saw the blueprint that LSU did the year before, and they was like, you know what, we're going to do that. Because right now, it's a copycat league. You're gonna go, whatever works with one team to get a championship, you're gonna see another team, do the same thing. And then on top of that, they said that Alabama has the number 1 recruiting class this year. So they might just do it again this upcoming season. You know what I'm saying?
They will always be in that conversation.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing.
Especially after what happened last year, when they didn't make it last year. Oh, they was on a mission this year. So and the question was put out there, and anybody that want to ask this, they can answer it on the chat line. They had a conversation. Who was the better team? This team, the Alabama team this year, or LSU's team last year? Who was the better team? They're pretty much equally matched up across the board, and it would have been a pretty good game. So if anybody out there don't want to answer that question, who was the better team? Put it in the chat. I'm not going to answer because it's very hard across the board because I've seen the talent that each side of the ball, each team had on side of the ball. It would have been a very interesting matchup, but yeah, I didn't expect Alabama to lose that game last night. And consider the fact that Devontae Smith just showed what a grown man he was last night.
And
that
he got hurt. Since we're gonna talk, since you brought
if he wouldn't have got hurt, he would have had well over 300 yards. He would have had well over 300 yards.
He had 250. Yeah. So CFP records was the 12 receptions. He broke last year's record, which was 10, held by Hunter Renfrow from Clemson, and then he had 3 TDs.
Mm-hmm.
He broke that, and he broke the 215 yards in the first half, and that record was set by Alabama's O.J. Howard, who had 183 yards in the second half against Clemson in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And then Smith just missed the single game record by Jamar Chase, who had 221 receiving yards against Clemson in last year's CFP championship. So he would have broke another record if he didn't. The team had records. Like they broke records as a team yesterday. Nobody was, and he went down. What's the Waddler? Is that his last name?
Waddle.
That shouldn't have been out.
Waddle.
That shouldn't have been out there. Shouldn't have been out there in the first place. Waddle shouldn't have been out there. But other players were coming in and killing it.
Yeah.
Like they didn't miss them. Like they didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Ohio State players that were getting hurt, that's when the game started changing. When their players, because they were already missing 3 starters, 13 players altogether before
And
the game.
they lost Sermon in early in the game. That was a big loss
Oh,
because he was toting the rock. He was toting the rock pretty good. So losing him, that took away the element of the running game because you had the element with Justin Fields running the ball. Then you had Sermon. So when Sermon got hurt, that changed the whole offense for Ohio State.
and that's when the game started. Like it was okay, but then like one of their linemen?
Yeah.
One of their linemen that got hurt, and that's when it started changing. Like that's when the game just started going Bama's way.
Oh yeah.
Because at first we were, I was talking to somebody, and I was like, "Can we play some defense?" And then, like right when I said that, that's when Ohio State got the interception, and they actually scored off of it. They scored off of that interception.
Then after that, it was just
and then after that was just they couldn't do nothing.
It was all Bama. It was all, and like I said it earlier, Brian, I agree with you. Bama's a football factory. They got the number 1 recruit class coming in this year, and they might repeat next year. I'm a Dogs fan. I hope my Dogs give them a fight if we beat them in the SEC championship down the road next year. But I won't be surprised if Bama repeats if they have a season next year. I won't be surprised if Bama repeats because they're one of those, they don't rebuild, they reload. It's like you said, they don't miss a beat or nothing. Like even when they lost certain players on that Bama team, they still had other players that were doing good. I mean, and I know everybody said Waddle shouldn't have been out there, and I absolutely agree he shouldn't have been out there, but the man wanted to play in the championship game. He wanted to play, and honestly, you didn't even really need him because between Mac Jones, Najee Harris, and Devontae Smith, Bama was winning. Bama was good anyway. So I mean, but as far as that goes, congratulations to Alabama. I know my mom and my brother and my sisters, they're all happy because they're Bama fans. So, shout out to them and Nick Saban, man, that's number 6. Ever since the CFP started, he's got 6 of them. So I mean, he got 6 of them things. So shout out to him, man. And like I said, I know Devontae Smith. I know everybody talks about the great receivers that came out of Alabama. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. There are a lot of people out there that said Devontae Smith will probably go down as the greatest receiver to come out of Alabama, and that says a lot because you got Julio Jones, you got Calvin Ridley, you got all these guys coming out. That's a big compliment if you say that. So,
there's some big shoes to fill.
Very big shoes, especially Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. Yes, very big shoes.
And then Najee Harris, he set a touchdown record.
Yeah. So he gets so overlooked though because everybody talks about Devontae Smith and rightly so. Najee Harris is not a bad player in his own right. He kind of reminds me of Ricky Waters a little bit. He could play, he could run the ball, he could catch the ball, he could block. He kind of reminds me of Ricky Waters a little bit. So he gets overlooked, and that's a bad thing because next thing you know, that man's 50 yards down the field scoring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody's game until they get punched in the mouth. And boy,
especially if you're dealing with a guy like Nick Saban who prepares. You give Nick Saban a couple of weeks to prepare, it's curtains. Yeah. So, but shout out to Alabama, man. Roll Tide, whatever you want to say. Now I gotta go wash my mouth out.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say all that. You said way more than I was.
You said that.
Well, hey. Well, only reason why because my mother is a Bama fan, and she watches all like that. So I give shout out to them. So, but like I said, hopefully my Dogs see him in the SEC championship game and next season. So we'll see. So.
Yeah, you doing the most. Yeah, that was way too much.
Hey! I have no problem saying Roll Tide. It's the other team I can't say. I can't say that team down in Gainesville. I can't stand their ass. I don't give a damn if they won it or not. Fuck them, that team down in Gainesville. So.
Oh, Saban does have 7. He has 7.
Oh, he does have 7. So, well, no, he has 7. Yeah, because he won the one at LSU. But I'm talking about as far as the CFP. When the CFP started, he had 6. But yeah, the 7th one when he beat Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl back in 2003. So he has 7. That's right, he does.
7 little things.
Okay, wild card weekend.
Oh God.
The game that we are going to talk about is the game we wanted it to happen, but we didn't expect it to happen the way it happened, and that's the Browns and the Steelers.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
I see my homegirl Jasmine is watching right now. Don't beat me up too bad because she is watching right now. So I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Talk about Jasmine. I love you, but your team got smoked. Your team got smoked, man. Your team got smoked. And
in the first 3 minutes.
And you know what? When I saw that long snap go like that, I was like,
talking
oh, it's
about
gonna be
the
a
first 14
long
seconds.
The first snap.
No, but we're talking about 14-0 within the first like 3 minutes. Like people said, I was one of those people that she missed that first part.
But you know what they say when it's the first mistake happens, and then it snowballs. That's what happened. One big avalanche. Yep, and that's what it is. Juju, I love you, dog. You can play, but sometimes you need to shut up. You need to be quiet. Stop making these videos because it seems like every time he does something, open his mouth, the Steelers get whacked. They get smoked. Mm-hmm. So, and
I thought he got his ass popped at first. I thought he learned once he got popped last game that day. Maybe I should shut the hell up. Maybe I should close my mouth and just play football and show them the player that I am. But you had to go and run your mouth. You had to. One thing I tell people is I never want to give a team, is what I say all the time, bulletin board material. You've given me something to hype myself up. So if I didn't have a puncher's chance, now that you done threw gasoline on this fire, I got something to prove. 8.
Oh, he cut out. But man, there he is.
He'll come back.
You're gonna do that.
There he is. There he is.
Go ahead, Phil.
You're gonna do that. 18 years without a playoff run, without any type of playoff. You do that? You give me bulletin board material? Of all things, you could have just kept your mouth closed. And play football and let it be. But you had to go run your mouth. And for me, I was like, okay, in the end, yeah, you had a pretty decent game in the end. But they stopped you any and every time. Any and every time that first half.
We will talk about that in a second, West. We have not gotten there yet, actually.
But yeah, it really was. It really was. I was just surprised by it all. You know, and everybody was going in. They was questioning it. They was questioning the Steelers. Were they really legit? Because their schedule was favorable. It was favorable. There were a lot of teams on there that, you know, they were supposed to beat. You know how the saying goes. You beat who's in front of you. But there were a lot of questionable wins that they got. And I know LaDonna's going to talk about the one when they played the Cowboys and they struggled against the Cowboys with a fourth string quarterback. You know, they barely beat. They lost to the Bengals. They lost to the Bengals. They lost to the Washington football team of all teams.
Of all teams.
Yeah.
The team without a complete name, you lose to.
You lose to.
And this is the biggest thing. He has not done nothing since Antonio Brown left. And that's what's so sad, because I really had high hopes for him. And I was like, dude, you're not going to have Juju doesn't have AB. He's going to be the number one guy. He's going to take over that slot. But I understand that he got double teamed. You know, he was getting that coverage that he wasn't really getting because of AB being there, but he didn't do nothing.
Yes. Shannon Sharp said it best. Shannon Sharp said it. He said the reason why, he said ever since Antonio Brown left, Juju hasn't stepped up. He hasn't had a 100-yard game. I think he had one against Cleveland the last game they played. I think that was his first 100-yard game. But yeah, he hasn't stepped up to be that guy. So I mean, it sucks because I'm like LaDonna. I wanted him to win because, you know, where he came from, how he got how he got it, how he, you know, got it out there. Yeah. So it's just like the way he's, you know, he's doing a lot more of this and not enough.
Way too much.
He's doing too much of that, and everybody laughed when I said, like, no, bro, you're not a Bobby Brown. Hell, you're not even Flavor Flav at this point, because at this, you went out there and stunk it up the first half, And this is a team that you said they're just the Browns. They're gray faces. So you put the notion out there that we're nothing, right? So because we're nothing, you should run all over us. I got the complete opposite. I saw an ass whooping from the first beginning of the quarter to the second quarter. And yes, you made a valiant push. We all know anybody has a puncher's chance to come back. Anybody can come back in a football game. We've seen it time and time again.
Right.
But the fact that you talked all that trash, not only did you dance on their logo, you danced on the logo, you got your ass blitzed and popped. I thought that was your lesson learned, which is keep your mouth closed and play the game.
Play the game.
No, you get in front of the media and you call them gray faces and the Browns are just the Browns. Well, the Browns that were just the Browns came and showed you that, hey,
your entire ass.
You want to talk? We'll show you what talk is. We'll show you what it is. And I just sat there the whole night, even though I knew I had to be to work the next morning. I sat there and I watched that game through the entirety. And I laughed from the first quarter all the way to the fourth. And it's not because I hate the Steelers. Even though my team is New England, we had that rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed because your trash talk, it did you in. Yet again, it did you in. It shows you that, hey, keep your mouth closed and play. Now that has happened, I don't care what anybody says. I'm sorry. My head coach got to bounce. We just lost to a team that hadn't made a playoff.
So
they didn't even have a head coach.
So Phil LaDonna. Oh yeah, his coach was at home. He couldn't even watch the game and nothing like that.
He watched the game,
but he couldn't contact the team. So my question, so I got a 2-part question for you guys and anybody else in the comment section. Well, actually a 3-part question because Sam just asked.
Okay, hold on before you ask that question.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask that one. Do the Steelers bring Juju back? That was my question number 1. Question number 2, do the Steelers move on from Big Ben? And question number 3, like Phil says, do they move on from Mike Tomlin? So y'all go ahead and y'all can answer. Anyone can answer. Go first or whatever.
I think they are. I think they are going to. I think it depends. The Juju situation all depends on the coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they bring Tomlin back, they might stick it out with him.
Okay.
But I don't think a new coach is going to want to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
Keep Claypool. And I don't know about Johnson because we saw what Deontay can do or lack thereof. But I really do. I really do think that Big Ben has to go.
Yes, Sam said if Ben that's a $41 million. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of dead money too. Oof, man. That's what happens. They sound like the Eagles, man. That's what happens when you give these players these big deals, and then you got to figure out towards the end. So it's
$41 million worth of trash at this point. And I'm not discrediting anything he's done beforehand before that game. Mm-hmm. But if this is what you're making, and this is a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 18 years, and you go out and you throw 4 picks, 4 of them things. 4. Not 1, not 2, not
like
3.
LeBron. You say, hey, look,
but 4.
Look, you sound like LeBron now. You sound like LeBron.
I mean, at that point, I thought it was going LeBron's way. I thought he was going to at least throw 5 or 6 picks before the game was over with. Because what I saw was a Big Ben that has clearly lost his touch.
Yeah,
he's clearly lost his touch. Mm-hmm. And everybody said, well, wait, I can't lose his touch if you went 12-4. Well, if I look at the quality of teams that you played to go 12-4, I'm inclined to think you had the most easiest schedule in the NFL. The teams that you played.
Yeah, I think they had the easiest schedule because you played the NFC East, which was trash. You played the Bengals twice. But
did lose to that no-name team.
Yeah, and then you lost to Washington, and then you had to play the Bengals twice, and then you lost to the Bengals. I mean, and then the Ravens and the Browns were good teams. And then you played Tennessee. So you didn't really play anybody.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
And then when you played Buffalo whipped your ass. Buffalo beat you down. So I mean,
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Aaron Rodgers would never, Peyton Manning would never.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady would never let a team who had not made the playoffs in 18 years come up and show their ass and put me out the very first round. The first round. At home. At home. First round. Never. I don't care who you are. They could never do something like that. Now, Matt Ryan wouldn't even do that to a team that throw 4 interceptions to a team that man.
I will say this. As much as we are giving the Steelers grief, we got to shout out the Browns though. We got to shout them Browns up.
I'm not taking anything for them. No boys came to play.
No boys came to play. No boys
they came to play. You know, Baker Mayfield showed me something. Show me that he has show me he has heart, and show me that he can be the quarterback of the future. He can improve. He showed me something.
Definitely.
You went out there versus versus a Super Bowl team, a team that has won a Super Bowl with a pretty and I like to think a pretty good head coach.
Tom is great. He's a great head coach.
I would like to think has a pretty solid offense. I would like to think has a pretty decent defense. And you came and you hung.
You clapped them cheeks.
40. First of all, it was what? 40 it was like, first of all, it was 28-0.
It was 35-10 at half. It was 35-10.
35-10 at half. We're talking about Baker Mayfield. We're talking about someone we questioned the last 2 seasons, whether he was going to be the starting quarterback that they needed. This is a guy that you have beaten constantly. Constantly. This is a team. And then you go and the big lights. When it's time for you to shine the most, you go and you throw 4 interceptions to that defense. Yeah. To that defense that has looked suspectish throughout the season a little bit, which I thought was a pretty good defense on paper. You go out and you do that. Yeah. You go out and you do that. So for me right now, like I say, who do we get rid of? Hell, at this point, throw away the whole damn team. Let's get rid of everybody. Right? Let's get rid of everybody. That was everybody's saying, it was a football miracle. Was it really? Or was it that the Steelers had a very favorable schedule? Because like I said, you go back at the schedule and you look at it. They started very favorable schedule.
They started off 11-0, and then they finished the second half 1-4.
And then I knew when they lost that first game, I said, we about to see who the real Steelers are. It's just one game. It's just you lost again. We about to see who the real Steelers are. It's just 2 games. It's just 2 games. Okay.
Because right after that, then they play Buffalo and they lost to the Bills. Right after they lost to Washington, then they played Buffalo and then they lost to Buffalo. So, but and I know they say get rid of everybody else, Phil, but like Brian said, the Steelers are cash strapped, so it's going to take a lot. Because like I said, $41 million worth of dead money, that's a lot of money to, you know what I'm saying?
And that's a walking dead man for real. Because me and my mom were talking about it, and I said, Mom, he doesn't look as mobile. I'm not saying he was that great of a mobile quarterback, but he didn't mobility. Look the same.
It's limited.
Didn't look the same at all. And I understand
Ben looks like
he's very statuesque.
It was like bricks, like someone filled his shoes with cement.
He looks like me and like.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how I get out of bed. That's how I get out.
When he did that play, where he did scramble out of the pocket to throw the football, and I was just looking, I was like, okay, he's not nearly as mobile as he was. I'm looking at Bambi at this point, trying to walk. Yeah. So I said, okay. And like I said, I'm not discrediting anything Big Ben has done for that organization. Because for me, if he's not there, maybe they don't win these the championships that they did win under his tenure, under his, reign as quarterback. Maybe they don't do it.
Maybe they wouldn't have charges.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Maybe they don't get far as an organization without him. But we're talking about people who put you on a pedestal of being possibly an MVP candidate this season of what you've done with the team. And you come out and you throw 4 interceptions to the Cleveland Browns. We're not talking about the Rams. I can expect that with the Rams with that defense. I can expect that with
the Bills,
with the Bills, with Buffalo, maybe with Buffalo. I can see you doing that against Kansas City because they just so high powered with that offense that you feel like you have to keep throwing to stay in the game and you make those mistakes. I can see that. I can see you throwing that against the Buccaneers or the Packers because they're better sound. But you did that versus the Browns.
The Browns, man.
So the question I have is how good are the Browns to even put on that type of performance? I always said on paper they looked good on paper. Could they put it together?
And they definitely put it together.
Before the season started, when we all were here, I was the one that said I think the Browns would win 10 or 11 games. I don't know if they would ever win a Super Bowl, but I said they could win 10 or 11 games. So far, I'm right. They won 11 games.
Yeah.
I also stated that the Steelers would lose the first round. I didn't care who they played, and I was right about that. So now
it's just the fact that it came all together. It came all together for you.
The Browns won 11 games,
and they beat the
It all came together, and I'm like, I'm not saying now. Hear me now. I know football a little bit better. I know sports better than that. I'm not saying the Browns will win the Super
Bowl.
Oh
no, they're losing.
But if they can put a performance defensively like they did against the Steelers to Kansas City, they got a big puncher's chance.
Let's say a puncher's
chance. Because if you can stop Kansas City's offense, they're sitting ducks. We've seen certain teams like the Bills come close. We've seen Vegas. We've seen Vegas beat them. We've seen New England hold them to under 10 points in the second for 2 quarters going into half. We've seen that.
I mean,
so if you can stop, the Falcons came very close. So there are flaws when it comes to the Chiefs. They're not invincible. They can be beat.
But you got to play perfect football, though.
If you come with the same tenacity, the same energy that you came with the Steelers, I think that you have a puncher's chance in winning. I think you can stop the reigning defending Super Bowl champions.
I'm rooting for them.
And the thing that Cleveland has that's going to help them when they go on the road to Kansas City, they have a very effective running game. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt, I'm pretty sure Kansas City's on his mind because he was there. He played for Kansas City before, everything that happened. Now he's Cleveland.
He already said it's personal. He already came out and said it's personal.
It is personal. And let's be honest. Kansas City doesn't have the best defense. They don't have the best defense.
They don't.
They don't have the best stopping when it comes to the run game. They don't have they're not the best at that. If these guys can play defense, play great defense like they did against the Steelers, I am inclined to think that we will see another upset occur with the Browns beating the Chiefs.
It's honestly, that's a realistic expectation. I have Kansas City winning because they're Arrowhead. I mean, even though they don't have the Arrowhead crowd like they normally do, it's just the fact they're Arrowhead and Kansas City, they're pretty good at home. But if the Browns, like Sam said, time of possession, if Cleveland get that running game going and keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes, they have a chance of winning.
You keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, you're going to win the football game.
You're going to win the game.
That is that. If you keep that offense off the field, you win. I think they can. I think they have the front to rattle them.
Myles Garrett is a pretty good pass rush. I know they lost Vernon. For the year, but they got a pretty good front.
Yes, if they can, and like we like to say, make a tap dance a little bit. If they can make them tap dance and make them second guess, we've seen when Patrick Mahomes gets under pressure, he is prone to making mistakes. We've seen it. So make them tap dance a little bit. You never know what'll happen.
Right, and they didn't have the best season last season.
But you're not playing a team that is this motivated either. That's another big difference.
Yeah,
and if it's not going to be the Browns, it might be the Bills. There's 2 teams. Any AFC team right now actually can uproot them. Like, I don't see the weakness in none of them. I understand that the Ravens, they have the Ravens number, but there's only so many times you get beat by the same team, and then you finally have your day.
Yeah.
So
It happens.
any team that could come and beat them, I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I'm all for underdog story. And before I'm gonna say something because I posted something about Claypool in my sports group, Sports Mafia, on Facebook, and somebody was like, "Well, why is everybody getting so hyped that he said what he said?" And basically, Claypool said next week they're going to get clapped by the Chiefs.
First
So
of
it
all, he
doesn't
should be
matter.
talking because you got clapped the week before, so you shouldn't even
And then
talk.
two, every time you clap something, the Browns win.
Yeah.
And
Like,
you know what exactly like LaDonna said, they win. And y'all already know what I call it. When people talk about a team that just clapped them, I always tell you it's that BSF syndrome. And if you don't know what that means, I'm gonna tell you. Bitter bitch syndrome. That is bitter bitch syndrome. I'm telling you, that's just what it is. It's you're gonna go on national TV. Well, not national. You're gonna go to the media and say, "Well, it's all good. They're gonna get clapped next week." Well, let's say if you won, who's say your ass don't get clapped next week? Because I'm inclined to think that I knew you weren't going to make it out of the first round, let alone go against a team that high powered in offense. That's just bitter. That's just being bitter at that point. And I pray because he said that, I hope the Browns take that as bulletin board material and go out and play their hearts out. I'm not rooting against Mahomes at all. I'm not rooting against anyone. But to see an underdog like that, to see a team 18 years in the making of this is 18 years of the making, not making the playoffs, and you're finally in there and you win your first game. You're riding high. You got confidence on your side. You believe that you can beat anybody at this point. And when you come in with a mindset that you can beat anybody and you're high off of that energy and you're riding that energy to the next game, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
We've seen it before. Let's talk the Giants. The Giants did it.
And just think about it. We've seen the Eagles do it. When they hadn't won nothing.
The Giants got 2 Super Bowls. Yeah.
The Cubs, we saw them do it in baseball. Sam just said the Bills run is over. They have it on their side too because they haven't been there since the 90s.
They haven't won the division since 95.
Since on the AFC side, that could really be like, you know what, we're coming for you.
Yeah,
we're coming for you.
And the thing about it is with that, the Browns have nothing to lose because everybody's going to pick the Chiefs to win this weekend, me included. I'm picking the Chiefs to win this weekend. The Browns have nothing to lose. This is all the pressure's on Kansas City. The Browns did what they had. The Browns did what they had to do. They're loose. They don't have anything to worry about. If they lose, everybody knows it's Kansas City. They don't have nothing. They don't have to be nervous or nothing like that. And I know Brian said the Chiefs could throw 30 points in the quarter at any time. Yeah, correct. That's why that running game of Cleveland has to keep the ball away from Mahomes. Because they can't do that. Because if the Chiefs go into, I call it God mode. If the Chiefs go into God mode, it's over. That's why
they did last year.
It's imperative. That's why it's imperative that Chubb and Kareem, Chubb got to get at least 20 carries. Kareem get about 10, 11. They got to run that ball like their life depended on it.
And I hear everyone say, I hear it. I know how special the offense is for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I hear that. But at some point, your offense ain't going to click every day. You're going to have some type of bad game. And you're going to have to rely on your defense to win you some games. Are we sitting here and saying that Kansas City has a pretty damn good defense that can lead them past the team and into the Super Bowl? That defense. Can that defense do that if Mahomes doesn't have a great game? And everybody keeps saying this is Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes. So what? It was Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. Invincible. We thought they were invincible. And then they got punched in the damn mouth. And what happened?
Eli got 2 of them on old Tom.
You got punched in the mouth.
Yeah. It happens. Like I said.
If Eli doesn't do that, we talking about a guy who has 8 championships.
Eight championships. 8. Oh, actually, he would have had 9 because the Eagles.
9 technically with the Eagles.
He would have had 9.
Anybody can get punched in the mouth. I don't care how prolific your offense is. If your offense struggles against a good defense, then you're in trouble.
You know what they say? Any given Sunday. Games not played on paper. Any given Sunday.
And
it ain't. Hey, again, how many times have I told y'all? How many times have I told y'all? Games aren't played on paper. Let's just be real. It's not played on paper. It's on the field.
Any given Sunday. So, and then my question to you guys is it me or it seems like the Browns offense is playing better without Odell Beckham?
They found a system to work. Mm-hmm. They found a system to work without him. Now, had he been there, would it make it better? I think so. Okay. But they found a system to work without him. And I see no need to deviate from what has been working for you this far. Right. It's just like I said, you plug it. I always said when it was with New England, plug and play. You lose one person, you plug in another one.
Next man, do your job. Next man up.
Do your job. You're getting paid for a reason. You're not just paid to sit on the bench. You never know what could happen in a game where it's your number to be called.
Yes, that man, Sam. Yes, that man.
Yeah. So, but with that being said, we talked about this. You know, let's talk about the other AFC game. Yes, you know, we got Kansas City and Cleveland, and then the winner of that game is going to play the winner of the Ravens and the Bills. And right now, to me, besides the Chiefs, the Bills have been the hottest team in football. Josh Allen could have been, if it wasn't for Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, I think Josh Allen would have definitely got the MVP because technically he has the same stats as both Rodgers and Mahomes. But we all know it's going to come down to Mahomes and Rodgers. One of them is going to eventually win the MVP trophy. But right now, I think the Bills have the hottest team right now. Stephon Diggs has basically resurrected his career because everybody thought in Minnesota he was a troublemaker, he was an instigator. He goes to Buffalo, becomes this elite number one receiver, balls completely out of his mind. Josh Allen is completely he is starting to step into that elite category, in the quarterback elite category. That defense is starting to play some good ball. Sean McDermott's done a hell of a job. I think he should be in running for Coach of the Year. Him and
I think he should win. I think he should win.
You know what? I would say that, but my guy is the guy from Cleveland because what he did with Cleveland, I think he should win it. But if McDermott wins it, I wouldn't be mad at that because just like Cleveland, Buffalo hasn't won they haven't won the division since '95. So
I think Flores should be involved, but that's
Flores, just as well. The whole AFC East except the Jets, and the Patriots. But those two, Miami and the Bills. I think right now, I know everybody talks about because I have the Chiefs going to Tampa. I have to go to Tampa. But the biggest threat to the Chiefs to me is that team at Orchard Park, the Bills. The Bills can beat Kansas City. They can. They have the capability to beat Kansas City. They can play good on both sides of the ball. They can run the ball well. Josh Allen is a damn good quarterback. Stephon Diggs is a legit number one receiver. They got corners that can play. They got a front seven that can get to the quarterback. So right now, that's my AFC right there. I know, Baltimore has something to prove. They got a chip on their shoulder. Lamar Jackson finally got that first playoff victory on his belt. But I don't see them going to Buffalo and winning that game. I got Buffalo winning by at least 2 scores.
I will say that. I pick Buffalo as well.
But Bills Mafia, that intensity from Bills Mafia.
You mean insanity? What I've been seeing,
the greatest
fire tables and everything.
The greatest fans in sports. That damn Bills Mafia, man. I love.
Oh my God!
I want a Bills Mafia honorary shirt. That's all I want in life is just to be an honorary member of Bills Mafia.
Yes, Sam. Yes, Sam. I got him winning by 2 scores because Lamar can only do so much. I'm
sorry.
I got him winning by 2 scores. It's something like either 28-14 or 35-21, something like that.
I'm gonna go 27-20 Bills.
That was mine.
27-20 Bills.
I'm gonna go 35-21 Bills.
I'm picking the Bills. I'm not sold, and I keep telling y'all this, and I've been saying this for day one, and y'all can back me. I'm not sold on Lamar Jackson. I'm not sold. I'm not sold because it's almost becoming like a Cam Newton situation to me.
You got a point there.
And here we are again, where we're looking at a guy who had an incredible season, and then we're looking at him like, "Hey, Chief, what you doing? What's going on here? What are you hurt? Don't seem hurt. Well, what's going on with you? Am I starting to see Cam Newton all over again?" And then I go and I look at the Chiefs and I say that they will win. They will go to the Super Bowl. This will be their last year without the league catching up to them. Now the league is going to catch up to them next year.
Oh, yeah.
Because you saw it this year. You saw it this year. So this running amok that you did, the league is going to finally catch up to you.
Teams are finally going to get it. They're finally going to get it.
Things are going to be so much interesting next year in that AFC.
Yeah,
it's going to be real interesting next year.
Especially with the fact that Tom Brady's down in the NFC. You got Ben Roethlisberger who might retire. Now you got Lamar Jackson. You got Josh Allen. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Justin Herbert down in LA, who even though you know he played for the Chargers, he put up crazy numbers down there in LA. So the young guns are coming. The young guns are definitely coming.
Bills can't run the ball. That's because Moss is hurt. But Singletary, don't sleep on Singletary. And then they allowed Allen to run free, and he took over. His legs took over.
Yeah, don't sleep on Josh Allen. Josh Allen got wheels. Josh Allen got some wheels now, so don't sleep on him. He got some mobility in them legs.
But we said that when we were on the show, was that we had everybody on the show. Mostly all of us agreed that if Josh Allen shows his true strength, and everybody said, "Yeah, throwing the ball," I said that kid is more mobile than what you think. He reminds me of a young Aaron Rodgers when he gets to scrambling a little bit.
That's a good.
And I said, so you're starting to move.
He's finally putting it together.
I'm not saying he's the Aaron Rodgers. He's not that man. But you show traits that you can do that. And I saw it this year. I said, well, he's moving better in that pocket. And I'm like, okay, I was right. Your mobility is slept on. Your mobility is what it is. So I think him being mobile the way he is gives them a chance. And I still, whether they can run the ball or not, I'm not sold on Lamar Jackson. I think that is my question mark. That's why I'm giving the edge to the Bills in a very close game. A touchdown score. That's just what it is. 27-20 Bills.
Okay.
I still think he will do some. I still think Lamar will have a pretty decent game. But I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to just throw 40 up, 35 and 40 up. I'm going to say it's going to be 27-20 the Bills. I'm going to give the Bills that nod.
Yeah. I'm going to answer this question for Sam real quick, and you can answer it too. It said, if you see what they did to King Henry this past weekend, I'm just going to say this. For one, you shut down. We said it. If you shut down King Henry, you shut down the Titans.
Exactly. They don't have a great quarterback.
You shut down.
Allen is a way better quarterback than Tannehill. He's a way better quarterback than Tannehill.
You shut down their run game. Let's just say you know Ravens. Don't get me wrong. I love the Ravens, but if you shut them down, you shut down the run game. Guess what's going to happen? He's just going to throw the ball. So do you really want him to throw the ball? Because we all know if you shut down King Henry, Tannehill's not going to his accuracy.
Tannehill's not going to beat you. Tannehill's not going to beat you. He's not.
His accuracy is not like Allen's.
Tannehill couldn't beat his own fingernails. Right. So I don't even know why this is even a discussion.
Sam,
everybody knows him.
I'm giving. You know what? I'm giving the Bills 10 to 14 points when they play Baltimore. That's my spot right there. 10 to 14 points.
20, like I said, 27-20. And I think it'll be a very entertaining game. I'm just not giving. I just have questions about Lamar Jackson. I'm just not sold. Not sold. On the other hand, I would love for the Browns to win because it's that Cinderella underdog story. However, I'll be realistic here. I don't know if they're going to come in with that same energy. I don't know if they can. Great. that shows me that you're ready, you're primed, and you got a puncher's chance.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have that same energy, if they can't stop or get Mahomes off the field, because they did a great job with a lot of 3 and outs, getting Ben off that field, 3 and out, 3 and outs. If they have a chance to do that, I would not be surprised if that score ends up being 28 to 20. I say 22, with maybe Cleveland having the edge if they can do that. If they can do that, I think they can.
And they got to factor in the fact that the Chiefs have been off. They've been off because they didn't play in week 17. They didn't play in week 17, and then they didn't play last week. So you got to factor in the fact that the Chiefs might come out rusty too. You got to factor that.
Rest. We said it all the time. Rest is not always a good thing.
It's not. You see what happened?
It's not always a good thing. Did you see what happened with the? Let's go back to the basketball. Did you see what happened with? It came to the Heat and the Spurs. Yeah. Remember how the Spurs just came in and just waxed the Heat, and the Heat had all that rest. Sometimes it just does not happen. Rest can be your Achilles heel. Sometimes you get comfortable.
Yeah,
you get comfortable.
I got the Chiefs winning. I got the Chiefs winning 31-24.
Raider Nation went home with our teams. We're talking about playoffs.
I'm not lying. I'll say this. I'll say this. I'm probably gonna catch some flack, but seriously, I did not expect the Patriots to have a better record than both y'all teams. I did not see that coming.
Hey, look. I'm happy because the Falcons have the 4th pick in the draft, so I am Gucci. I'm good. I'm all right with that. I'm good. So
our quarterback went down. So
and then everybody talks about they want to get Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, look, go get that guy Surtain from Alabama and pair him with AJ Terrell, and we start there. Go get Surtain from Alabama.
LaDonna said we didn't. Their quarterback went down. We didn't have a quarterback. We had an old rusty running back throwing football. So I mean, we had a whole rusty running back throwing football. So we didn't have a quarterback either.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the NFC.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that Jurassic Park.
That Rams Seahawks game. Real quick, real fun fact. This is the 3rd home playoff loss in the team history, and this is number 2
to the Rams.
The Rams have their number.
Like Phil said, some teams just have your number. Some teams just have your number.
If Mr. Donaldson can play.
If Mr. Donald can play.
He's good. If Mr. Donald can play.
He's good.
He's playing. Aaron Rodgers, boy. Aaron Rodgers, hear me now. Please wear your tap dancing shoes. Because you're going to tap dance. You're going to tap dance this weekend.
Man, Thanos
you're going to tap dance for your life this weekend.
To Lambeau Field. He is coming to
Lambeau Field. You better pray and say, God, please don't let this mobility leave me now. Because if you cannot get away from that big man, you are through. That defense is solid. You not only have Donald at front, you still got Jalen Ramsey. As much flack people give him, that boy will shut you down. I don't care who you are. He will shut you down. He will target you.
I know DK Metcalf is going to have nightmares of that man this whole offseason. He's going to have nightmares.
He's going to shut you down. And you put him on your best receiver. And I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10, he comes out on top. That's going to be the matchup I want to see, him versus Devontae Adams. That's going to be the matchup. If that happens and he gets the best of Adams, good night. The Packers will be packing it in and sitting at home. Because I refuse to believe. I refuse to believe. Yeah. And let's talk about Jared Goff, who's been playing exceptional right now.
With a broken thumb.
Maybe he needs to break limbs more often. Because I'm getting tired. I was one of the ones that said this kid could be the future, and he just seems to let me down. But right now, he's playing the right type of football at the right time. So with him coming in, not making those mistakes, mitigating his mistakes, throwing the football, hitting his targets, and that defense shutting you down. Hey, man, I'm telling you, Aaron Rodgers, please be ready because Russell looked like a pedestrian.
How many times? How many times Donald sacked Wilson before he went out with an injury? Like 3 times, 2 or 3 times. I think he's the only. I think he's the only defensive lineman that sacked Russell Wilson multiple times in multiple games. Like that's crazy.
He looked pedestrian-like.
All together, I think. But
I think he had
like
2 or 3. He had like 2 or 3 of them. That's
and you can sit here and you can say, well, Russell's no Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, and Russell is younger than Aaron Rodgers, and he still got put in his ass. So at the end of the day,
Sam say he got 2 sacks. 2 sacks.
I was right.
I don't care if you get 2. I don't care if you get 1.5. If you hit me that one time, you put that fear in me that, hey, you still coming. All you have to do is touch a quarterback one time, one good time, and you put the fear of God in them. Because at that time, in the back of their mind is, this guy's coming. And whether Donald gets to you or not, you still got to look at him and say, hey, he's coming. I've seen double teams. I've seen triple teams. And he still finds a way to break through and push pressure to your quarterback. That's a beast. That is a monk. In the words of them, I'm sorry. As much as I love WWE, unless I love Braun Strowman, that is a true monster among men. He gets to you. And if you can do that, if you can make Aaron Rodgers tap dance and you can stop and you can shut down their receiving core, what else do they have?
They really got to pay attention. They really got to pay attention to that, because the fact of the matter is that Aaron Donald, I already said it. When it's all said and done, and when Aaron Donald finishes his career, he will be the greatest defensive player in NFL history. He will be. I know they got LT. I know Sam is listening. I know he tried to lobby for LT. And don't get me wrong, LT set the bar. He set the bar. Reggie White set the bar. But when Aaron Donald, the way that Aaron Donald has completely just wreaked havoc this early in his career, he will go down as the greatest player. Yes, he will be the best defensive player of all time if he stays healthy, if he stays consistent. The man already has 87 sacks in his career, and he's just getting started. That man could easily break the record by Bruce Smith if he stays healthy and consistent. So yes, I will say he will.
As he's getting older, he's gotten quicker, and I'm like, dude, that's not even fair.
It's not even. It's just. He's Thanos. That he is real life. If that is Thanos in real life, he is.
I'm telling you now. When New England played them in the Super Bowl, the first thing I said, Lord, if he gets to Tom Brady, we're gonna have a hard night. Because I know how bad he can. I know how bad this man is. If he gets to him.
Tom Brady was playing that night, man.
And I thank my lucky stars that the offensive line held up. He couldn't get to him. Right. I was so happy that they threw them big bodies at him and he couldn't get to him. Even though that was the lowest scoring game ever, I was so happy that they didn't get to him. Because if he would have gotten to him, I'd say, oh, he didn't put the fear in. As great as Tom is, he didn't put the fear of God in Tom. And I knew it was going to be a tough time. And I told y'all, I said, if he can get to Tom Brady, that's my worst fear. I said, he is relentless. He doesn't care if you do stop him on one play. He's going to keep coming. He is relentless. He does not stop.
You know how
that was my biggest fear.
You know how they say players play violent? That's how he plays. He plays violent.
I'm telling you, I cannot express or specify how much a monster among men that they're gonna see. That's what he is. That is a man amongst boys, and we're talking about big guys. We're talking about some big guys that we see them get around.
And the crazy thing about it is, he hasn't hit his prime yet. That's the scary part.
That's scary. That's scary. That is downright scary. I'm telling you now, and we make the jokes all the time that sometimes we can go in and throw better than some of these quarterbacks. But I'm telling you now, if I got an Aaron Donald looking at me,
I'm gonna have. If I'm gonna pose the quarterback and I'm playing Aaron Donald the next night, I'm sweating into my sleep.
I'm telling everybody, I'm bribing my whole offensive line. If he can't touch me nothing but twice twice this game, I will give y'all half of my damn salary. If y'all can stop him from touching me twice in a game,
Yeah.
I'll pay you half of my salary.
Yeah.
But when you got to look at that defense and you got him staring at you, it's just something. It's terrifying because you know at some point he's gonna find a way to get to me. He's gonna find a way to put pressure on me. And if not only that, their whole front has the ability to put pressure on me. So it's just not him.
Michael Brockers, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd is coming around. That is a damn good defense right there.
And right now,
and Brian just said they just signed a LT today. That doesn't mean that LT is going to stop him.
I don't think nobody can stop him at this point.
That don't mean we don't. We lost him. He'll be back, but that doesn't mean that lineman can even help him. But this reminded me when you said that about the quarterback. This reminded me when you were talking about how if you saw Aaron Donald coming at you and you're the quarterback, it made me think of Matt Ryan on Sunday Night Football when that lineman was running and he just laid down.
He just laid. Hey, look. I will say this. And shout out to Brian put out Derek Thomas. We can't forget about Derek Thomas. He was another great defensive player. But the general consensus among us and the chat, Aaron Donald will be the greatest defensive player of all time if he stays consistent.
Aaron Donald gets past my guys, and I see him coming at me. I'm sitting in Indian style, and you can just tap me. I'm already down. I'm not. I'm
laying down. What are you talking about?
I'm sitting in Indian style. The coaches, they can say whatever they want. I'm gonna sit down the Indian style, but hey, you want the ball, cheat? I'm gonna hand it to you because technically you ain't touched me yet, so I can just give you the ball and you can run. At that point, that's somebody. I'm telling you.
When this man took down a quarterback with one arm while being triple teamed, I knew he was going to be special.
Yeah.
Not two hands, one arm, three people, and he took the quarterback down with one arm. That I was just like, you know what? That dude is going to be special. He is going to be special.
Well, the Rams defense is number one.
Yeah, they're top. They're very top.
Their defense is showing out like in every type of way.
You know what? They're peaking at the right time. They are peaking at the right time. They're definitely peaking. And like I said before, we talk about Aaron Donald, we talk about Michael Brockers. Let's talk about the secondary led by that number 20 over there. That one where everybody talks about, how he speaks and how he talks and his sexuality. I don't give a damn.
Hold on. No, let's stop there. Now he's sassy. He's sassy.
But you know what? I don't care if he is. That man can play the position like it's supposed to be played.
And I am not doubting that. I told you he was a top 5 corner in that league.
He's definitely number. You know what? He's number. I put him number 2 behind Pat Peterson. He's number 2. So definitely.
And this year, what he's showing me is 1A, 1B with them. Yeah. Because he truly has shown that, hey, this is not a facade in Jacksonville. I can get to your best player. Mm-hmm. I can shut your best player down. Mm-hmm. And I can give you issues without a shadow of a doubt.
I'm
going to cause chaos for your. I'm going to be in that secondary causing chaos for your receivers.
And think about it. Think about it. In the NFC West, you got DK. He had to face DK Metcalf twice, and he had to face DeAndre Hopkins twice, and he shut them down every time. I
don't know if he's trash talking them and he's getting into their heads, or it's just his skill. It's a combination of both.
He's probably a combination of both. I think he's probably the most physically gifted cornerback in the league. I think that's just me.
He's on a team that can give him the help that he needs up front, where he can put more pressure. He can put more pressure on the receivers, and their front seven can put more pressure on the quarterback. It's hand in hand. They are the best defense in the league. It's not a facade. It's a reason why they're the best defense. They have a complete, solid, built, tough defense.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is going to tap dance and make some decisions we've not seen Aaron Rodgers make.
And funny story about Aaron Rodgers. I remember when Ramsey was in Jacksonville and the Packers had to play Jacksonville, very first Ramsey in his rookie year, Aaron Rodgers didn't even look Jalen Ramsey's way. He didn't even look Jalen Ramsey's way. So that lets you know, as great of a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers is, that lets you know the respect that Ramsey has. As a rookie, he didn't even look Jalen Ramsey's way. So now he has to see him again this weekend, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be on Adams most of the game, which is going to be a hell of a matchup. So if Rodgers don't even look that way, other players going to have to step up, because Ramsey's pretty much going to probably put the clamps on Adams that game.
I remember them playing New England, and they were leading that game.
Oh yeah, AFC Championship game.
And that second half, it showed what Tom Brady said, "I'll be damned if I keep targeting the person he's locking down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make the other team beat. I'm gonna make the rest of the guys beat.
And you know what you got to
do. But that's what you got to do when it came to Jacksonville. You're not going against Jacksonville, right? You're not going against You're not going against Jacksonville. You're going against the Rams and that front seven. There is no such thing as have somebody else beat you, because that team is solid. Right. They help, they communicate, they get after the quarterback, they get into these receivers, and they have deplorable games. They're not even close to being great. As great as Hopkins was this season, but when I saw him go one-on-one with Jalen Ramsey, he was a complete pedestrian.
In two games, two catches for 16 yards in 2 games. DK Metcalf in 3 games, he had 11 targets, 3 catches, 40 yards in 3 games. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was looking at just how physical, and someone said in the chat.
Sam said
another thing. Sam just said it. He is very physical.
He'll put your hands
at the line. He will put his hands on, and he knows when to take his hands off of you to guard you.
And he's got great length too. He's 6 feet, got long arms. He's very
deceptively quick as well. Deceptively quick. And I said, okay, here we go. What are you going to do now? Because it's clear he's not going to let this guy catch this ball right now. He's not going to let. I thought that Seahawks would win that game. I actually had the Seahawks win. But when I saw that front line for the first few minutes of the game, and how tuned and how solid and how focused they were, I said, for the first time, I got to switch my pick. They was like, what? I said, the Seahawks aren't winning this game. Yeah. And I said, Russell's going to have a real tough time right now.
And he did.
Because this team is.
He did. So with that being said, let's go real quick predictions. Who's going to win it? Who's going to go to the NFC Championship to face the winner of the Bucs and Saints? Who y'all got, LaDonna?
Well, first I had to do this. I had to show. I had to show what's happening.
Tom still looks better. Tom still looks better.
Yeah, you know the Jerry Action role, man.
You know, he's aging well, but I guess we're gonna do the whole from a mama move. We're gonna pick the Rams over Green Bay.
Okay,
but it's gonna be by 3.
Okay.
27 to 24. It's going to be something, low like that.
Yeah.
You say 27-24. 27-24. I'm going to go 27-14 Rams.
Wow. Dang, you think they're going to hold Aaron Rodgers to 14 points?
I think this defense is going to rattle them so bad that we're going to I just do not think they can put more than 14 points on that board. Not with this team clicking on all cylinders like they are. Okay. Now, like I said, anything can happen. We always say that. But right now, I'm inclined to think 27-14 Rams.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go against the grain because, as great as that Ram defense is, I can't go against the bad man. So I got the Packers winning 23-20 over the Rams.
23-20 over the Rams. Okay, yeah, I can dig that too.
I got him 20. Okay. And then on top of that, Aaron Rodgers had, especially after the showing he had in last year's NFC Championship game, I think he has something to prove as well. and he's one of those players where he's not that young anymore. So I got Green Bay. I got Green Bay winning 23-20.
And this is their first home game.
Yeah, and it's the first at Lambeau. So
Okay.
and consider the fact that it's cold. It's gonna be cold in Lambeau. I gotta see how that Rams defense does in the cold. So we'll see. We'll see.
So okay, well, that's consensus that we got 2 Rams, 1 for the Packers.
1 for the Packers.
When it comes to the other game,
Saints in the Bucks, the old man bowl, the grumpy old man bowl.
And it ended a tie.
Well, you know me being a rival, I hope it does. Being a rival,
in the tie.
I hope it does.
Everybody said, well, you saw what the Saints did to the Buccaneers the first 2 times they played. That was early. That was early in the season. Those Bucks have picked up tremendously these last couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
And dare I say, Tom Brady looks even mobile than what he was in New England.
It looked like
he's actually moving. He's moving.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 30-27 Bucks.
Okay. LaDonna?
35-20. No. 35-30 Bucks.
Okay. And with me being said, I got the Bucks as well, but I got the Bucks 28-24.
So all of us have good game, like close games, and it's not even just us. Like everybody, even in the comment section,
even in the comments,
I think the
only one
close.
Right. I think the only one. Yeah, Damien's he's the Saints fan, so he's picking the Saints, of course. But
I wouldn't expect him to do anything less. And if he picked someone else other than his team, that I would call him a traitor. But I mean, I'd expect nothing less.
But I think it's gonna either way. To me personally, the NFC Championship will be an old man's game because Aaron Rodgers is gonna win, and then whoever comes out of that game between Drew Brees and Brady, we're gonna have that matchup in the NFC, and then on the AFC side, you're gonna have the young man's game, Mahomes versus Allen, and then in the Super Bowl, it's gonna be one old line versus one young line. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
But you know what? I'm excited for the Bucks and Saints game. It was a lie. They're not either one of your team. I always wanted a Brady Brees showdown in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, and I'm finally getting my wish. And I'm finally getting that wish. So I'm gonna enjoy this game. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm going to enjoy this game. And it's going to be something special that we're going to see 2 quarterbacks of their eras. Possibly the last time we see either one. Possibly. We don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy this game. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this game because they were 2 quarterbacks that did it at the highest of levels in their era. And I'm going to enjoy this game because we don't know if we're ever going to see them again on that field.
Yeah,
the
rumor coming out of New Orleans is this Super Bowl or bust for Drew Brees. This is his last year. So whoever comes out of that game, and then if the Packers beat the Rams, then you're gonna have that Rodgers versus Brees or Rodgers versus Brady matchup. Yeah. Hey, they said the old man still got it, and it's proving it right. So hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, he's been moving. You got a little move, yo. You moving? Hey, where was this when I needed it last year? What was this?
Hey, man. Hey, everybody's talking about the Packers. Everybody's talking about the Packers. Everybody's talking about the Saints, and Tom Brady's like, hey, I got 6 of them things. Don't forget about me.
And just think about it. He still has another year left with them after this year.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to think they get better next year. They won 11 games. Everybody had them at least because of the new addition of Tom Brady. Either they will win 9 games or go 8-8, and they won 11. And it did look rocky at first, but those last several games, they put it all together.
They kind of put it together, yeah.
They were scoring the highest points per game in those last several games, and dare I say, their defense even stepped up a little bit. So I think Tom Brady pulls this one out against Drew
Brees.
Drew, and we will see. I think we'll get to see Aaron versus Tom again.
Yeah. So basically, that's your NFC Championship right there.
That's my NFC Championship right there.
That's my team. Packers versus Bucks.
If that happens, if if he can get past
Past the
that
Rams.
defense, and I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
then we'll see Aaron versus Brady. But if he
True.
can't get past him, and I don't think he will,
Okay.
we're gonna see Brady versus the team that he beat in the Super Bowl.
So
And let's see that narrative play out.
So you got the Rams versus the Bucks. LaDonna, you got the Rams versus the Bucks, and I got the Packers versus the Bucks. Okay, all right.
Consensus saying Bucks are going to be in the championship game. That's what we're saying.
Bucks are going to be in the NFC Championship. We're just waiting on who they're going to play. That's who it is.
Yep.
All right. So, but that's good. That's good. So I can't wait. I can't wait. Football is going to be exciting. It really is. It's going to be exciting. So, but with that being said, we're going on to our partner shot. Yeah, no, this is what the part where we just kind of
talk about coaches, and I'm so sorry we didn't talk about coaches, hires and fires. My little one over here is not feeling all that great, and I am mom
make it quick
right now. So that is the only reason. But I will say, I feel like the Cowboys like old Falcons coaches. That's all. I don't
know why.
You had Mike Nolan first, who we had, and then now you got Dan Quinn. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, but Dan Quinn, actually, people made kind of fun of it, but Dan Quinn's defense wasn't that horrible. It really this year it was, but last year it was in the top 10. The last couple of years it's been within top 10, top 20. So that's better than what Mike Nolan did. We going from last place. Anything up is better than what we had this year.
True.
Well, let's just. I'm gonna put it out there because I said this again, and I said it when it was everybody there. I said that Dan Quinn and the Falcons had reached the ceiling of what they were, where they were. They were not going to win with him. He was not going to win with them.
Yeah,
it was time to go.
Yeah,
it was time to go. I said that the very next season after that, after they put on that poor performance, I said that's it. Let's move on, and they stayed with him. And now you come down to this, and now he's been fired. So I don't think he's a terrible coach. I just don't think that system was a fit for him. Okay. I don't think that team and who they had was a fit for him. Now, he may do something very differently when it comes to the Cowboys. Who knows? Cowboys could have the number 2 defense in the NFL next season with Dan Quinn. I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's a terrific coach. When it comes to defense, he knows what he's doing. I just don't think he was the right coach for the Falcons at that time. And yes, they did make a run at the Super Bowl, and now we're going to see what he does with the Cowboys. Hopefully, it does turn out better than what it did for the other Falcon coaches. Now, I don't care who you are. I can tell you now, it's a couple of coaches that we're just not going to see go anywhere. Andy Reid is going to stay. Bill Belichick ain't going nowhere. So we don't have to worry about them. We don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, Mike Thomas not going anywhere. So.
We don't have to worry about them.
Right.
I'm interested in seeing the coaching moves this offseason. I'm more interested in seeing the coaching aspect and moves this offseason than I am with players. That's what I'm interested in. That is honestly what I'm interested in. Who's going to bring in the right person to fit their system the right way and flourish in it? That's what I'm looking at next.
Well, the big one right now is going down to Jacksonville, where Urban Meyer might be the head coach for the Jaguars, and then they go draft Trevor Lawrence with the first pick. So that's the big story right now as far as the coaching thing is Urban Meyer might go down.
If I'm Trevor, I'll go anywhere except the Jets. Anywhere.
Well, the Jets blew it with started winning games, so they kind of blew it. So I mean,
winning game 2.
Yeah, hey, Jacksonville only won 1.
Number 2.
They moved to number 2. Jacksonville got the number 1 pick.
Well, Jacksonville was smart. They tanked. They were smart.
Yeah,
it was a couple of games Jacksonville I knew could have won a game of 3. I knew they could have won at least 3 or 4 games. But they tanked. They played it smart.
Brian, I'm sorry. I know Brian's like, I'm sorry, Brian. But yeah, Jacksonville has the number 1 pick. They have the number 1 pick.
I call a spade, Chief.
Right, and then there's the rumor that Urban Meyer he's going back and forth. He's going back and forth deciding if he's going to coach Jacksonville or not. So if they get Urban Meyer, and then they draft Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville's starting out pretty good. So I mean, you can only go up from there if you're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. You can only go up because your team was trash. So
Okay, I'm gonna do my parting shot real quick, fellas. My parting shot. Actually, I thought I had one. I really don't. Besides,
I don't really have a parting shot.
Today was just really crappy day. It started off good and then just went kind of. Small town living is when you get stuck behind two trains at the same time, going different directions, and they both stop at one point in time. But I tell people all the time, and I'll say it again. Besides, be kind to one another. Start taking care of yourself. Start making yourself the focus. I told both of these gentlemen within the last couple of weeks of each other. Ever since I have been on this journey of focusing on myself, I feel like I can't be stopped. My stress level's different. Everything is just better, and I want that for everybody. Even if we're not on talking terms no more, I still want that for you to have a positive outcome at the end. But yeah, just be mindful, take care of yourself, focus on yourself, and everything should be great. And don't try to repeat what you did in 2020 that you don't want it to happen in 2021.
Facts. Yeah, definitely that.
Nothing
Definitely
but
that.
facts. Because
Definitely.
I said the same thing.
Go ahead, Phil.
I'm not going back into 2020 with the foolishness that I had put up with. That was just me, and I stepped away for a long time because I said, hey, I always do my soul searching. I always say, okay, what can you have done better? What can you do to be better? I always do that. It's that time of reflection where you have to look at yourself and say, hey, maybe, just maybe, I'm the problem. And then there's times where you got to face facts and say you're not the problem. It is the circle that you're intertwined with. And sometimes you have to cut some people off.
That's true too.
Though it saddened me to do so, it was the best decision for me. I don't have that. I don't have to worry. I don't have that energy where it's just like, oh, here we go again. I don't have to deal with that. And though I wish everyone the best and the best of luck and success in life, I don't hate anyone. I don't hate anyone because hate is a strong word. And that word sometimes you can't come back from. I don't hate anyone. I want everybody to be successful and do what they're doing. And one thing for certain, you can't get ahead looking back at what the next person is doing. So if you stand forward and you're on track with you, there's no need for you to look back at something else and say, hey, what are they doing? Because I can guarantee you that person's probably not thinking about you. They're moving on with their lives. And that's one thing people need to understand. Move on. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your differences. Be better. Forgiveness is a thing. I tell people, yes, forgiveness is a thing. But one thing about me, I don't forget. I can forgive you, but I don't forget. I will not allow you to burn me the second time like you did the first time. Once you show me your hand of cards, I'm not interested in you showing me the second hand that you dealt. So with that, like I said, I wish everybody the best. I wish everyone the best. And I want everybody to be successful. It was a tough year, but it's a new year. You can do better. You can get better things at it. I ain't hate. Support everybody in what they do. I'll throw a thumbs up when you do something. If you're doing, I'll do all that. I will do all that. Yeah. It ain't no hate here, nothing but love here. But sometimes it's best you split, part ways. Sometimes that's the best piece you could give yourself and someone by cutting them off. So don't think as if you lost someone. Just think about it as you giving yourself a peace of mind.
A peace of mind. Yeah. That's pretty much what I was going to say. And Phil, I don't know if he was in my therapy session, but that sounded exactly what my therapist said.
Of course, I'm doing that as well. So
Yeah. It goes hand in hand. You got to take care of yourself mentally and physically. You really do, because if you don't, who's going to do it for you? You know what I'm saying?
correct.
So,
And one more thing before you say anything.
go
For
ahead.
those who are out there, I need you to understand this too. Oh, I'm back.
Oh,
I'm
this
back.
is going to be more than one occasion.
Oh, this will definitely be more than one occasion. I
All right,
told
we
LaDonna
good.
that earlier today. This will
Good
definitely be
deal.
more
Good
than
deal.
one
So
occasion.
Preacher Phil is back. I'm glad that you're back. So that's good. That's good, man. I appreciate. I'm glad you're back, man. I know we talked, talked over the course of last year. You helped me out through a lot of situations and vice versa. So me personally, as a friend, I'm glad that you're back. Talking sports with us. So as far as I don't really have anything to say. LaDonna and Phil pretty much hit it on the head. There are some people in my life that we felt that it was better just not to be together, or not, just kind of go our separate ways. And I hold no ill will towards them, because I feel that that was best for them. They're best for their mental and best for their peace of mind. So I would like Phil. I wish them the best in whatever they do. So you got to take care of yourself. 2021. 2020 it's been hell. It was hell.
Yep.
So
And there I
so
say,
20. Yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
sometimes God's rejection is His protection, and sometimes we don't see it as that, but that sometimes that's just what it is. His
What it
rejection
is.
is your protection sometimes, for your protection sometimes.
Yeah. Yes, definitely protecting yourself. Like, it may not, like my therapist said, it may not be something that you can see right now, but looking at the bigger picture, it's probably something that's going to help you in the long run. So you can't just look at the fact that what has happened before in front of you. You just got to look at it over time and see what it does. And maybe, like I said, it was best for you, for them people to get out of your life, because it's going to elevate you to the next part of your life that you need to be. So definitely agree with LaDonna. I definitely agree with Phil. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. Like I said, I'm starting to take boxing classes. I got my feet done. I've been reading, meditating, just trying to get my peace of mind back. So always take care of yourself, because if you don't, somebody who's going to do it for you. So, but that's my part of the shot. I have nothing else to say. I don't know if LaDonna's going to come back on, because I know she got to deal with nephew. So I can go ahead and do house cleaning. We will be back next Tuesday, same time. Be myself, LaDonna. I don't know if Boom's going to be with us, Phil. So on behalf of all of us that listen to us, and took the time out that day to kind of hang with us and talk sports, I really appreciate it. All of us do. And with that being said, we will see you guys next week. Oh, wait, LaDonna, you wanted to say something before you go? All right, we'll see y'all next week.